Have you ever got a call from somebody or someone offering you free solar panels for your house? They'll call you and say, hey, do you know you can get solar for free right now? Well, question I have is it really for free? That's what we're going to talk about on today's video. We're going to see, is solar really free? I'm going to share with you my experiences with getting quotes on all that stuff and get you the answer to that question, all right? First of all, if you like videos like this about real estate and market updates and life in Vegas, please subscribe and you will receive notifications when videos like this are released. Okay, first of all, let me just tell you a quick little story about my personal experience about solar for my house. We live in Las Vegas. It is a very sunny city. They say average about 220 days of sunshine in our state. So solar seems to make a lot of sense here, actually. So I started to gather more information to see if solar was the right thing for me and my family. Should I get solar panels installed on our house, right? I called a few solar companies to just kind of get estimates and an idea of how this process works. First thing they do is they'll go out to your house, get your power bill from you. For us, it's NV Energy. And then on our bills, they actually show your last 12 months of usage for power. So based on your usage for the last 12 months, the solar company is able to design a solar system that will generate enough power for you to use. Okay, because getting solar in Nevada, you're not totally off the grid. You still need to basically connect onto the power grid system so that when you are generating a lot of solar power, especially in the summer months where the days are longer and it's just hotter and more sunny, you're generating all this power. You're building a surplus for you to use in the winter months when the days are shorter, of course, right? So you're actually connected to the power grid still. So they'll bank your surplus energy when you're generating more than you're using so that you can use it for when you are using more than you are generating. Okay, so that is usually like a $15 a month bill from the electric company just for you to be on the power grid still, right? You could be off the grid, but then you would need to buy batteries and all that kind of stuff for your house, which most people are not doing right now because they're very expensive to do. All right. So once they figure out your usage, they'll assess your house. They'll come check out your house. Ideally, you want your solar panels installed on a south-facing roof that gets the most direct sunlight that way. And that's where they would try to install the solar panels. Obviously, if you installed it like on the east side, you'll get a lot of sun early in the day, but none in the evening. And then on the west, only in the afternoons, right? So they try to find a good south-facing part of your home to install those panels, and they go from there. Of course, they'll discuss the options of whether you're in an HOA or not, because if you live in a homeowner association, you may need a approval from them before you start installing these solar panels on your roof, right? So that's what you have to do. So once that's all said and done, they'll come up with a bid for you. They'll give you an idea of how much the whole system costs, and they'll give you financing options as well, and possibly like a cash purchase price for it as well. They do offer leases on these things, and they also offer the option to purchase. It's my opinion that I think leasing it is not a good idea. You do pay a slightly lower payment amount. However, it's, at the end of the lease term, they're going to come take the solar panels off your house, which is a little strange. Why would you pay this much for this long just to have them take off the solar eventually? I personally, if I were to go with solar, I would definitely do a purchase first. But definitely go with the purchase. Let's say you don't stay in this house forever and you want to sell the house. Having a lease on the house with the solar panels could cause some problems for you when you want to sell in the future. So I definitely think the purchase option is the better option in this case, because if you own the solar panels, it's a value add to your property. Whereas if they're just leased, it's another thing that the buyer has to qualify for just to buy your house too. Yeah, I definitely think purchasing is the way to go. But anyways, as you look into, a lot of people in Vegas these days are all going solar now. They're finding out that it saves them money on average if they go solar and they're making a payment every month, it works out to be lower than what they pay for energy in general, though. So that's why a lot of people are going solar. Not just personal people, though, too. In Las Vegas, I mean, a lot of the major casinos on the Strip are going solar. Major companies, including Target, Apple, Macy's, IKEA, a lot of these big corporations are actually really converting to green energy as well, too, because they see it as kind of a more of a long-term solution, right? You know, invest some money now to save on energy costs in the future. Definitely that's the trend where most people and corporations are heading now. So not a bad thing to check into. But as we talk about solar more, there are pros and cons to solar as well, too. I'm going to start with the positive and give you an idea of what I think are the pros of having solar. First of all, of course, it's renewable and it's clean, okay? It's good for the environment, okay? It's the power of the sun. As long as the sun keeps coming out, you're gonna have some electricity, all right? That's an obvious pro, all right? If you have paid off solar panels, you don't have to pay for energy every month. That's a huge pro. Huge pro, all right? Usually, your payment for the solar panels will be less than your average cost of energy, too. So that is another advantage for going solar. Of course, we talked about the environment, too. It's just a cleaner source of energy for the environment, and it's renewable. All right, now let's look at some of the disadvantages of getting solar, all right? First of all, solar is really going to depend on the location of your house. I mean, if you have a multi-level house or your roof has many different levels, or maybe your house does not face south, or at least you don't have a nice roof service facing the south, this could be a problem for you getting solar. For example, I have a client that had a house, there's a courtyard in the middle of the home. It was just every roof line was on a different level. And he received a quote for getting solar panels, and it ended up being very, very expensive because you had to put a couple solar panels all around the thing. It wasn't efficiently designed, so it was not a good idea for him to get solar, of course, all right? And then, of course, I mean, if there's things that are out of our control too. What if your neighbor has a really, really large tree that's blocking some of your sunlight during the day? That could also affect how efficient your solar panels run, all right? That's one of the disadvantages of solar is, you know, you are dependent upon the weather and then external forces like the direction of your house or other blockages of the sun, okay? Another main disadvantage of owning solar, of course, is the very large upfront cost. Solar panels, they can be very expensive. I've done the math on this. I mean, you know, it'd probably at least take a good 7 years to break even, meaning you don't really save money on solar until 7 years down the road, all right? Because, you know, if you're financing it, the payments you make towards the paying off your solar panels are going to be equal to or a little more than your current power bill. So you don't see the advantages of owning solar panels until, you know, 7 years down the road where they're paid off, perhaps. You're saving money from there on out. Something to consider also is that the solar panels lose efficiency over time as well, too. So even though your solar panels produce enough energy for you right now, 10 years down the road, they may not be as efficient and they may not produce enough energy for your household at that point. Those things do decline in how efficiently they run as well too. All right, so I hope that answered your question about whether solar panels are actually free or not. And if you like watching real estate videos and market updates and other videos like this, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification icon and you'll be notified when new videos like this are released. This is Jim Fong with the Jim Fong Group at Urban Nest Realty. Thanks for watching.